You probably don't even think about it, but every time you turn on a light, eat a meal, have a drink, or use water in any way, you are using a resource. Actually, that's kind of the problem here. Most of the time, people use a lot of resources without even thinking about it. Maybe we should be thinking about the resources we use. Where do they come from? Is there enough of them? Where in the world has the most or least of them? That leads us into the unit we are now starting, known as Global Resources. Before we go further into Global Resources, I'd like to tell you about one of the most vital resources to our channel, the subscribe button. Please consider clicking it before we move on. As we often like to do, let's begin with a definition. A resource is defined as a stock or supply of something that has a value or purpose. In simpler terms, it's something humans can take from the planet and either sell it or use it themselves. That might be anything from a single person using a resource for themselves, all the way up to huge companies who make a lot of money out of finding resources and selling them to people. But what kind of things are we talking about when we say resources? Let's just think of one example here. A modern smartphone is packed full of resources. The screen is made of glass, and the body of the phone can be made from glass, metal or plastic, while the inside of the phone is packed full of lots of different metals like aluminium, gold, copper and silver. Oh, and lithium for the batteries too. All of these materials were either mined or created at some point in time. The glass was manufactured from sand and a few other ingredients. The metals were all mined from the ground before being processed, and the plastic is made from oil, which is also mined from the ground. As you can probably tell by now, there are countless resources that we humans make use of on planet Earth. However, there are three particularly important ones that you need to learn about in GCSE Geography. Let's take a look. Here at Simple Geography, we call these the Big Three, because they are undoubtedly some of the most important resources to everyone on the planet. They are food, water and energy. Remember our definition. These three things definitely all count as a resource because there is a supply of them that people use or sell to make money. The food resource covers everything we eat. The amount and the quality of food that a person eats has a major impact on their life, but this can vary enormously in different countries around the world. With global population rising rapidly, which we have a special video on if you want to know more, it's up there in the corner now, we will take a look into the future of how we can provide this resource to everybody who needs it. Water, the most vital resource to human life, is the next of the big three. There are some who think that future wars could be fought over this resource, and those people kinda have a point. Not everyone has access to safe, clean drinking water, and yet others have more of the stuff than they ever really need. How we can solve this problem is another big part of this unit. The final of our big three resources is energy. Energy is what we need to power everything we do, from putting fuel into cars to providing electricity for homes. Supplying enough energy for people all around the world is one thing, but the much bigger issue is how we go about doing it. You see, there are lots of ways to harness energy from things in the world around us, but each method has positives and negatives that we need to consider. More on that later in this unit. That is all for our short introduction into global resources. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and subscribe button as it helps us to bring you more content in the future. And if you wish to be notified when we upload a new video, hit the little bell dingy. As always, you've been listening to The Mountain Man and watching the work of Michael Deluxe. And remember, keep it simple.